In the heart of a dense forest, where the trees whispered ancient secrets and the rivers sang their eternal songs, lived a little crow named Kavi. He was a sharp and observant bird, but he always felt inadequate. The reason? Peacocks. Every morning, Kavi would watch the peacocks from afar as they spread their shimmering feathers, dancing elegantly under the golden sun. Their beauty mesmerized him. Compared to them, he felt plain, dull, and insignificant. Why was I born a simple crow? He often wondered. If only I had feathers like theirs, I would be admired too. Determined to change his fate, Kavi came up with an idea. He started collecting fallen peacock feathers from the ground and carefully tucked them into his own black wings. Then, he coated himself with mud and water to try and change his color. When he finally looked at his reflection in a pond, he smiled. Now, I look like a peacock, he thought proudly. The next morning, he walked into the peacock group with his head held high. The peacocks noticed him and tilted their heads in curiosity. "Who is this new peacock?" they whispered. Kavi, feeling confident, began copying their moves. He spread his wings, shook his tail, and tried to dance just like them. At first, the peacocks were amused. They let him stay among them. Kavi enjoyed the attention and admiration he received, something he had never felt before. He was convinced that he had finally found his true place in the world. One day, the forest announced the Grand Monsoon Festival, where all birds would gather to celebrate. The peacocks, being the most beautiful, were always the highlight of the event. Excited, Kavi eagerly joined them, looking forward to finally proving himself as one of them. As the drums of the jungle echoed, the peacocks began their majestic dance. They moved gracefully, their real feathers shining under the drizzle. Kavi tried to keep up, spreading his fake feathers and mimicking their steps. The audience cheered. For a moment, he felt on top of the world. But then, trouble struck. As the rain grew heavier, the mud that covered Kavi started to wash away. The fake peacock feathers, loosely attached, began falling one by one. The illusion crumbled. The other birds gasped as Kavi's true black feathers were revealed. "A crow?" one peacock exclaimed in shock. "You tricked us!" another sneered. Humiliated, Kavi stood frozen as laughter erupted around him. Even the birds who had once admired him now turned away. His heart pounded as shame filled his chest. He had spent so much time pretending to be someone he was not, only to be exposed in the most embarrassing way. Ashamed, Kavi flew away as fast as he could, returning to his own kind. He expected the crows to mock him, but instead, an old crow named Ved looked at him with wise eyes and said, "Why do you look so sad, young one?" Kavi sighed. "I wanted to be admired like the peacocks, but I was just a joke to them." Ved chuckled. "Do you know why we crows don't have colorful feathers like peacocks?" Kavi shook his head. "It's because we were given something far greater, our intelligence, our strong wings, and the ability to fly high. Peacocks may dance beautifully, but we crows can soar higher than any other bird in this forest. You tried to change yourself to fit someone else's world, but you never realized the greatness within you." Kavi listened carefully, his heart growing lighter. From that day on, he stopped envying the peacocks. Instead, he focused on his strengths, his sharp thinking, his ability to solve problems, and his speed in the sky. Soon, he became a respected leader among the crows, admired not for pretending to be something else, but for embracing who he truly was. Moral of the story: trying to be someone else may bring temporary admiration, but true respect comes when you embrace your real self.